All right, my name is Bill, this is Pirate Solutions Forestry. This is log 5 in Jesse Key's floor order in the how fast can we go, how long will this band last, the new Stellite band series. I've got another pitch pine up on the mill. It's approximately 10 feet long. It's got some bow and crook to it and everything else. I think I've got it in a good place to take a top cut off it. Hopefully it doesn't move. It's kind of a nightmare log a little bit. Let's see how fast we can roll through it. So that stack right there with a 1x8 that we got out of the last log. And if you watched that video, you saw me mess up and not level that out on its side. Made a mistake there. Should have looked at it better. There's Danny chilling out. We're almost done. This can be our last log for the day. I do have 1 inch under this end to even it out a little bit. I tried to cut it horns up, but I could not get it to sit on the bunks right. So I flipped it horns down. We're going to make our top cut, try to clean the top up, and then mill it out. This looks like a good candidate for 1x10s, I think. We are a minute in. Everything's coming out to be about the same, about 15 to 20 minutes a log. This is a 12 by 13, but it's so crooked the other way that we might as well just call it 12 by. It's probably going to end up being 1x8 would be my guess now, just looking at the overall size. 12 works out to 9.6. No, 12 times 7, 70, and 14, 8.4. So it would work out to an 8-inch cant. You get that by multiplying it by 70%. So we're going to fire up, see how fast we can mill this one. My top cut is going to be around 13. It's going to be pretty thick in the middle here. I might have to come up and cut that off first so I don't get stuck. 13 looks about right. Yeah, I'm going to have to come up and cut that off. So I'm going to come up to, instead, like 15, slice that chunk off first. This is pitch pine. So I think the next cut's going to be about 13. We will see how flat this mill cuts in this log and see where we're getting to after we're at like 300 board feet. Feels like the band is starting to slow down. I'm just going to flip it over right now. It seemed to cut pretty flat on that pass. Let's just Feel it. You can feel the waves in it. So it's pretty flat. This is nice blue stain stuff, just like he's looking for. I'm going to go all the way over with it. Some of these logs that he brought me are pretty funky, so, you know, they are what they are. You find out where Danny is. Oh, Danny's right over there. We don't know exactly how this one's going to work out, so I'll just take it at kind of what I think is max width. I think this top cut's going to be about 10. That's pretty deep here. I'm going to cut it at 11 1/8 and then 10. See if I can steal a flitch out of it. Nope. So that was the horns up side. And we're going to have to come down to 10. No good way to do it right now. There is no good board in that click, so I will throw this into my craftwood sale bin. I think I'm going to take there's no good way to do this log. So I got a pretty flat side down. I think what we'll do is we're going to flip it on its side right now, clean up this top. It's kind of uneven, thicker down here than down there. The bottom is really straight, so I think that's the only thing we can do. And we'll see how it works out the other way. Might have to flip this one extra time here. Perfect. Top cut's going to be somewhere around 12. The one thing I've instantly recognized, the sound of the band has changed. I'm going to flip this one over and I'm going to take another board out. Take one more board out of it. This is a 10. Yeah, I'm going to take one board out of it. Get rid of that wane. We might as well. Yeah, we might as well. So that was, I think, at 12. Come to 10 and 7/8. I think that's fine. That gets us another 1 by 10-ish. It's kind of a 1 by 10. Probably going to end up being a 1 by 8 once it's edged off. It does have a little bit of wane on one side. Beautiful board. Keep that over here. That's going to have to be edged down to about 1 by 8. We'll flip it over. Actually, so we are at 10 now. Yeah, let's just flip it over and mill it into 1 by 10s. Yeah, I think that's the deal. There's going to be probably, I don't know, 5, 6 full length ones and then some shorter ones up here. So yeah, we're going to cut it just below the bark line here. On this side, that's at 7.5 there, 8.5 here. It dips off. Let's see, I think there's an 8 and something 4/4 mark, so let's go to that. So it ends up on 4/4 at 7 3/4. So let's go ahead and cut the top cut there. I'm going to go up to the next one. 8 7/8. I might steal a board out of this. Yeah, I definitely stole a flitch out of it. Yeah, stole myself one good board. And then we'll just drop on 4/4 scale all the way down. Sand seems to be cutting really nice right now. The light wood is cutting through. Seems to be cutting really flat. I don't see any wave in the sand at all. It's cutting fast, it's cutting smooth. Sounds nice and even. That was at 5.5. This is at 4 3/8. Sitting out that nice yellow sapwood right now. Looks like southern yellow pine. Three and a quarter. Starting to make a little bit of noise. Going down to 2 1/8. Looks like I can finish the log. Gotta be careful for my log dog up here. It looks like it's a little high. I'm gonna clear it. I'm gonna have to move it before the next step. All the way down to 1 and finish it off. Take the sawdust off the head bump and the head carriage here, so we go all the way down. Finish it. This will be the end of the day for me. One inch. Be careful that we clear our log dogs on the way by. Looks good. Looks good. Just cleared that one. All right, so these are 1 by 10 by 10.6. 1 by 10 by 10 is 8.3. And we got, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is another 72, 75, almost 80 with the 8.3, but a little bit of wane, so we'll just call it 70. So that gets us to 370, almost 400 feet. These are 1 by 10 by 10 foot long. I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And we'll check the time. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing, about 20 minutes. Yeah, actually less. It's only 21 now. So like 20, 15 minutes. So I hope you're seeing, actually, let me get a pitch on me there. Hope you're seeing a reoccurring pattern here. So in logs about this size, let's just say 12 to 16 inches, to mill them out into 1 by material, max size can't, takes approximately 15, max 20 minutes, yield 50 to 70 board feet. So you're milling 15 and 15 is 30, 15, so 4. So minimum 200 to 250-ish board feet an hour. So in 4 hours, comfortably with logs this size, you're milling 1,000 board feet. Comfortably, by yourself. No problem. So you have no problem milling 1,000 board feet a day. I am going to stack these. I do want to check the level on my mill. I was getting some weird, show you what I'm talking about. I was getting some weird dimensions in the middle. It shouldn't be, it should have nothing to do with level. I think it was just tension in the logs, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people talk about this, and so I was getting some dimensions in the middle that were less wide. But the thing is that this hasn't changed. Even if it's dipped on the saw head, this shouldn't cut deeper. This cut 10. So this particular log cut at 10 inches wide, even in the middle. So a lot of times when people are saying, well, I'm getting logs that are thinner in the middle or whatever, it's tension in the log. That other boomerang log I got, I saw it as much as 1/8 of an inch thinner in the middle than I got on the ends. And that's just the log springing up and down. This has nothing to do with it. If this dropped down so that the mill was like this, my saw head's going to ride like that. It's still going to cut the same height from here to the blade, regardless of whether it's level or not. So I just want you guys to know that. The only way it will cut less is if the cant springs up off the middle bunk, so it's not touching like it is right now. If it springs up, then it will cut thinner here, but it won't be because of the level. So I do want to make that clear, because I think I see that misrepresented a lot. If this mill gets out of level a little bit, it's not going to change the height between the rollers and the top of the bunk, unless these are somehow fastened independently of each other. And in this case, they're not. So this distance is always going to stay the same. So my mill head is always going to cut the same distance from this bunk, regardless of whether this is level or straight or anything. The only time that it would do that is if the log itself was stiff and strong enough to bridge this low gap. So if this was low and the cant somehow was strong enough to, which wouldn't matter because you'd be cutting it like this anyway, slightly. But if the cant somehow, if you threw a new cant up on here and was strong enough to bridge over this, then you would cut thinner in the middle. But just wanted to talk about that. So anyway, another bunch up here. Hopefully I can get him to come here tomorrow and get these. I want to get these out of here. I don't want to be responsible for drying them. Tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, it looks like it's gonna. I think we got remnants of that hurricane coming up. But if it doesn't rain, I'll edge off my edge boards. For now, I'll take the edge boards and I'll put them on top of what's here. So, well, there's no sun today anyway, so it won't matter. But regardless, I'll get these all noted, get them on there. They're cutting out for me at about $30 a stack. So he's getting these for, let's just say, it works out around $3 a board at $100 an hour, which is great. It works out perfect for him. But I do want to get some money out of him probably before I head off to Ontario, to Norwood, and get that set aside. Maybe I'll take it with me, convert it to Canadian or whatever. I don't really have any clue. It's been a long time since I've been to Canada. When I was a kid, I used to go up there with American dollars and they'd charge me. They'd say, well, it's $100 in gas, and I'd give them 100 and they wouldn't give me any change. And I'd be like, hey, wait a second. You owe me change back. It's 100 in Canadian. It's only like 80 in US. Oh, yeah. And then it gave you a 20. So I think I'm going to change in whatever he gives me. Hopefully he'll give me some money for this. And I'll take that down to the bank and change it into Canadian. So when I go up there, I'll have some cash to be able to buy at Canadian rate. So I just make sure that I'm not getting myself screwed. Other than that, the next time I come out, I'm going to clean this up first. And I'm going to edge. I'll mill one of these down to where there's a small cant on here and do all my edging. And then continue on my way with his with his log. So really, I probably only have a few days of milling left on this to mill all his logs. There's quite a few up there, but some of them are bananas. They got to be cut down. And I only got one left up there and one on the bunks here. So really, I think I can mill all of his wood in a couple of more days, just half days in the afternoon. So let me know what you think. The band is still cutting beautiful. Maybe I can get one of these off here so you can see it. Yeah, here, I'll just show you this one. If I can get the camera right. Let me take you out of the holder. Hold on. He's got that nice blue stain too. I think the reason that I got those couple of wonky cuts, and you can see them in that stack, right? I don't know if you can see in front of my finger there. If I get you at the right height, you can see the little, one of those cut kind of weird in the middle, and then there's a little bump right there around that knot. But I think that's because of the tension of the logs. If you look down this one, if I can get it up with my hand, hold on. If you look down this one, I get a good view. This cut perfectly flat. I mean, look at the backside of that. Perfectly flat, perfectly smooth. There's a little piece of wane on there I want you to ignore, but nice straight edge. This band is still cutting great, and we are 370 board feet into it. So we're just about to the point where a normal band would start to would go dull. Right around 400 board feet. We're about at 370, and that's not counting any of this. So we're probably close to 400 board feet right now. Once I edge all those off, and the two that are sitting on top up there, there's quite a few board feet right here, and then those two on the top right there. And that does not count any of the slab cuts. So none of this over here, not counting any of that over there. So with those cuts over there, we're way over 500. I mean, way over. We're probably close to, in cuts itself, just with what's lying around in there, we're over probably probably close to 700 board feet, probably, with the cuts, if you had to count what's in there. So if you slab these out, you'd be counting it. I hope that makes sense. If these logs were all slabbed, these would be part of the total. But because we're canting them out, we're only taking our count right now out of the good boards that we're left over with. We're not taking into consideration any of the flitches. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 flitches there. And then we're not taking into consideration any of this wood too. So that all factors in. So this band seems to be doing pretty good. We've cut legitimately 400 board feet of boards, counting those on the top. And we're still cutting the laser flat. And it went through that log like nothing, to be honest with you. So I think that band runs well. So I'm going to take the tension off it, blow it out, grease it, oil it, cover it, lock it down, get these off. Actually, I might leave these right on the mill for now. That's a good base for it to sit on rather than trying to get them up here into this mess. And then it's going to rain. So I'll put that one that's got the rain on it on the top, and then probably take one of these off and put it on the top just to cover it in case it does get sunny, keep anything off them. And that's it. So hit me up with any questions. You'll like, share, subscribe, whatever they tell you. And we're getting along through it. Let's see here. We got basically 100. We're at like 160 bucks so far for what you see here and that log. So if I could get him to bring me that, that'd be great. If I was charging $1 a board foot right now, I'd be at this number. But these aren't my logs, so you really can't, because I would have to charge $1 a board foot. You technically have to buy the logs from them to sell them back to them. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but you really can't. Should charge by the hour when you're milling somebody else's logs. They own the logs. So yeah, we got to pick my son up in about 2 hours. Me and Danny are gonna get cleaned up out here and go inside and sit down and chill out. Hopefully he'll eat his dinner and I can get him his pills from the vet, and we'll kick it off on another day. So for now, Power Solutions out.